Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 replay cast. Today it's a 1 vs 1 on Ruins of Seras between our purplish-pinkish Protoss player, Puck, and over on the left side, our blue Terran player, Light, who's better known as Major. And we will speed this up to the 2-minute mark. All the good stuff starts to happen. And again, this is Ruins of Seras, so it is a very, very large map with many, many places to hide. And many expansions as well. Now the 2-minute mark, and Reaper going to be guarding the stairs here from the scouting probe. Going to optimally kill this probe before it scouts much of anything. Probably saw the command center there. And now an SCV in the Protoss base. Going to scout this out a little bit here. Protoss above saturation here. Getting ready to Maynard some of those probes on over to the expansion as soon as it's ready. And I'll get that warp gate research zealot on the way out here. Gonna try and stall this Reaper, but Reaper doesn't really have too much of a problem with the zealot. They just sort of juke around them. And in the unit's last tab here, just one of those probes for the Protoss was lost. And unable to get himself another probe there. And the mothership core is out and about already, so now the Reaper not going to be able to do too much here. Mothership core will be able to chase it down pretty easy, but maybe able to get another probe before it has to bail out of here. D8 charge sends some units flying there. And is forced on out of there. 19 health still on that Reaper. And we have a Cyclone in production for the Terran player here. And the expansion going strong here, dropping mules and getting that income up above the Protoss, nearly 1,200 to 900. Reaper forcing away an Adept here. And now Adept coming around the side there and transfers past him. Jukes out that Reaper pretty bad. And now it's going to be moving on forward towards the Protoss base once again. Getting scouting information and possibly getting additional probe kills, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Going to lose that Reaper there to the mothership core and an overcharged pylon. And now multiple Marines out here ready to defend. And here comes the Adept now. And already out of that transfer there, so now he's going to try and get up ahead of these Marines. And is he going to be able to do that? No. Just cancels that transfer there. Cyclone hidden at the back of the base here. Looks like he's trying to keep that hidden away and going to surprise his enemy with that. Xel'Naga tower captured by the Marine. See if there's any funny play coming by. So with that being on the upper side of the map, the drops will usually have to come in from the bottom side. It's quite easy to spot drops, of course, with the Xel'Naga tower. One would suspect. And for our Protoss player, looks like we have 5 Stalkers, 1 Adept, and 1 lowly Zealot. Lowly and lonely Zealot, and a Mothership core also has an observer out in the field. 2 Siege Tanks, 16 Marines, 1 Cyclone for the Terran player, Major. And in production here, we have level 1 weapons and armor for the Terran, and a Marauder. Good old stim pack on the way as well. And some charge for the Zealots of the Protoss. Also has a Warp Prism on the way. Looks like Protoss getting ready to skirmish a little bit here with the Terran. It does look like the Terran's force is a little bit superior right now with the 2 siege tanks. Of course, the Cyclone in the back as well that can be called in. And where did that Cyclone even go off to? Don't know. He's all hidden all the way up in the corner there. And now a third expansion for the Terran going here. It looked like the Protoss was a little bit earlier on that, but again, Terran, of course, those precious mules. Cyclone here in trouble. Down to 68 health, will get taken out pretty quick, but the Stalkers decide against that. And now going to be defending the top ramp here. The Observer there, allowing the Stalkers to warp up the ground. Now oversaturated at the second Protoss expansion, second Terran expansion here. I think earlier I said third expansion. Technically only the second expansion. Third total base, if you will. Third total orbital command. Protoss holding out here. And still waiting for reinforcements. And just keeping the Terran busy for the moment. And now going to be warping in some Zealots down here. With the Warp Prism. Medevacs out on the field now for the Terran, and in production here, combat shields, concussive shells, Protoss ground armor 1, and Templar archives as well for the Protoss. And tried to get a hold of that adept there, but sort of backfired on him, lost a couple units doing that. And now a huge amount of Zealots is about to pour in on the Terran here. And this is going to be pretty bad. Going to lose a good chunk of units with these Zealots here, but going to lose the Zealots as well. And so held out fairly well there. Now having to bring the SCVs in to force these Stalkers back here. And definitely don't need those now. Just going to bring this back to the mineral line. And so that was quite a bit of Zealots, but they all died fairly quick, so it was a very ephemeral attack. But did lose quite a bit of Marines and Marauders doing that as well. And the units lost tab. 3,200 lost for the Protoss, only 2,700 for the Terran, but of course did lose way more units as they don't cast this as much. So did lose quite a bit of units there. And 2 supply depots were being created here, but looks like the SCVs were either killed or brought off the line there from production. And now we have 4 Archons out in the field here, and also researching Psionic Storm for the Protoss. And more Zealots being pumped in here from the Warp Prism. A couple bunkers back here to help defend against that Zealot rush there, which should prove to be fairly useful. And these 2 supply depots still not being created. He does have 181 supply, so he's pretty good right now. And if you just finish that one there. Loaded up a medevac there. Looks like we got a couple of 3 Marauders, 2 Marauders in that one. Rest Marines, but going to run right above the Protoss here, and this is going to be pretty bad. And going to lose tons of units here, and boosted it out of there, but was not fast enough, so that was a big loss for the Terran there. 2 medevacs filled with units. Comsat there shows all of the Protoss units. And what is going on? The Marines here are going to be moving forward. And going to be moving past the Xel'Naga Tower, which I think is a slight mistake there. As the Protoss definitely sees that. Should have stopped at the Xel'Naga Tower first and destroyed whatever was there. But possibly could have been a Zealot, would have lost some Marines doing that. Liberator out on the field now. Several Liberators on the field here in defensive mode. And High Templars there. Psystorm a couple times. And not too much damage done there. And Protoss still warping in front of the Terran base here. Several Liberators up. and ready to stop anything that comes in there. Should any zealots pour into this area here, going to get blasted pretty hard. And Widow Mines here being placed down. And one of them goes off. Looks like it took maybe something out. I'm not really sure there. And one of those Archons nearly destroyed. Its shields were very, very low. Now down to 48 shields. Even more High Templars now out on the field here. 4 of them and 5 total Archons. And the total units on the field there. Multiple ghosts out in the field and EMPing some of these Archons here and the Protoss as a whole, I suppose. And units lost have 6,800 lost, 6,200 for the Terran. And now still trying to get off some of those EMPs. And the other ghosts in the back here. And Zealots taking out one of those units there. And Terran sort of on the back foot here in a very defensive manner. Now, some units here dropped in up top towards the Protoss base. And Marauders taking out some of these Stalkers here, but now the Medivacs in a little bit of trouble. They were just going to bail on all those Marauders, and it took out a few of them there. And units lost 9,500 to 8,500, so Terran still losing here on the units lost. Liberators going in defensive mode all over here, and Protoss narrowly avoiding that area of attack. And 6 total ghosts out on the field. I was hearing some snipes go off. $30 total workers here on this expansion pile here. So very, very oversaturated. But I suppose that will deplete a little bit with the Vespines, but gotta do what you gotta do when you don't have any other place to put them, I suppose. The Stalkers here bulked up pretty well. And Liberator's going overhead here and don't know what that was all about, and trying to get that Warp Prism there and losing so many, and he was very undecided there and taking out that Warp Prism. That was a big mistake there to lose that many Liberators. I don't even think that would have been all that worthwhile to take out that Warp Prism anyway. Another one could have just been brought in eventually. Another Protoss inside the Terran base here. And just having a field day, taking out anything he possibly can here. Liberators set up. And one of them sort of faced the wrong way here. Very interesting indeed, and doing a really good job of staying out of these Liberators' attack. And now the natural gone for the Terran. However, there wasn't too much left here, just the Vespine, really. And at that was only about 700 and some odd. A Vespine, Terran coming from the other side here and trapping the Protoss in his base and going to hit him from the other side. Now sandwiching the Protoss from both sides. Protoss suffering heavy losses now. Heavy with an E. That means it's even bigger than heavy losses. And all of the units for the Protoss destroyed. And so it's hard to even say who came out on top on that one. Units lost 18,000 and 22,000, so the Terran losing many more units than the Protoss. Now we're starting to produce some Tempests for the Protoss here. 9 total Tempests out on the field. And a couple Dark Templars as well to drain that Comsat energy there. Dark Templars inside the base over here, hacking away at the orbital command. Scan goes up there and takes out one of those Dark Templar. Another Dark Templar here, taking out the mules. But finishes that off as there was a missile turret there. So many Tempests on the field. Now 10 for the Protoss. Was making these in secret, if you will, during all of that skirmishing that was going on in the base for a little while there. Apparently 11 Tempests now on the field here, just massing them up. Puck absolutely massing Tempest right now. And another one is out on the field. A 12th Tempest is out of the field. Liberator not trying to run away from the Tempest, has really no chance. Can get away, but no chance at taking any of them out. And there goes the Liberator, doesn't even get an attack off. 12 Tempest moving across the field now. Now Terran moving forward here, but just Marines and Marauders going to get absolutely destroyed by all these Tempests. And our Terran just has to keep banking up here. Major really needs some anti-air potential. Tons of Vikings, or just simply get around all the Protoss buildings here and drop everywhere, and just cause a big disturbance for our Protoss player. So our Terran player does have options, but Puck has the easier option, which is basically just to go forward and destroy everything in his way. And now with Psystorm, the Zealots to charge, and the Tempests here. And another Liberator come in here and going to do AoE damage to all these. So Liberators could do the trick, but you're going to need a lot of Liberators to do that. And they are massed on each other pretty well there. So Liberators would do really well, but fortunately, again, going to need a lot of them. 2 Liberators on the field here for the Terran, and 1 on the way. Marauders pushing forward here, going to try and take out some of these Stalkers and various units. And looks like a pause occurred there for a moment, as a Puck's mouse was apparently isn't working. Is Mosu, but we all get the point. And this Observer here causing a lot of trouble for the Terran. Spotting all of those Liberators there, took him out instantly. Didn't really get a chance. And a big Psystorm there hits all those units as they were going around the corner. And that was huge damage. And another Liberator taken out there. There was another Liberator here in defensive mode, but it's just faced the wrong way. And these Tempests just going to have a good time taking that out. And the missile turret there tried its best, but unable to take that out. Orbital command burning. And looks like the Terran trying to get around here, also make an attack up here. However, the Dark Templars taking care of these units that were harassing up at the base. And now the Tempest chasing these units, and they're just barely out of the range of the Tempest and running for their dear lives. As there are so many Tempests in the air, it is blocking out the sun in small portions of the map here. And a failure of a try at the expansion there. Too many overcharged pylons and moving into it. And right now just sort of doing desperate attacks here to stall Puck from attacking his base with all these Templars, or Tempests. And the Dark Templar there attacking the Orbital Command, and now dropping some additional units here at the Stargates, but has to GG out just way too many Tempests. So a pretty good game indeed, a very, very large map, so many expansions, and because of that was able to produce all these Stargates while he was stuck, while his opponent, Major, was stuck in his base. Very good game indeed. Hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.